Today, we're going to talk about something that I actually bought to, let's just say, avoid having two phones. Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. This episode is brought to you by Jane, a clinic management software built to help you focus on what matters most, your patients. Building rapport with your patients is important during appointments, and that can be challenging when you're also trying to take timely and detailed documentation. That's why Jane built AI Scribe to help you document important information without the manual note-taking. This feature transforms your sessions, seriously, it's amazing, into chart entries, and all you have to do is review your notes, sign the chart, and you're done. And since security is a top priority at Jane, seriously, it is so important to them. AI Scribe was built securely in-house to be fully HIPAA and PIP EDA compliant. With a tool you can trust, Jane helps you spend more time on patient care. To learn more about how Jane can help change how you feel about documentation, head to meet.jane.app/documentation to book a demo or sign up. And if you're ready to go, don't forget to use my code LEX1MO for a 1-month grace period on your new Jane account. And if you're curious about AI Scribe, I highly recommend you go ahead and take a demo with Jane because I saw it in action and it is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Welcome back to another episode of Up in My Business. I do think that today's episode is going to be decently, I'll say short. I'm not entirely sure if short is the correct word. But because we're going to talk about something that I bought this year to make it feasible for me to essentially arrive to work and leave work. So we'll get there in a second. But I want to start with business, personal stuff. So I'm going to just lump this in together, but last week I recorded an episode and I sent out an email that I kind of knew that I would get a decent amount of folks replying to me, but I did not anticipate it being as many as I received. So thank you if you reached out to me about last week's podcast episode and email. It definitely matters because I'm talking to the abyss. I'm typing into the abyss. I never really know. I never know if things land, and it is important to me that I create things that you enjoy. And I also feel like I am an against the grain type of person, which can be, it has gotten me into a scenarios where I'm just not a yes man. I'm not a yes man. I definitely just, what I mean by that is like, if something doesn't feel good to me, I'm not going to do it. So it's one of those things where I will say things that may not be mainstream or may not be something that you hear all the time. And I don't need necessarily, like, it is what it is, right? Like I just can't keep my mouth shut. And that, I guess that does serve me in a lot of ways, but it also does make it so that it's very obvious that I'm saying something that may ruffle feathers, but it is what it is. And truthfully, like I also was very clear that my intention was to not say good versus bad. My intention was very clear in that I am stating what works for me. And if this works for you or something you relate to, amazing. And also the folks who do not relate to that and have a different value system, amazing. That is great. There's no good and bad. It's just, here's a message that you may not hear all the time. It's just a different message. Mostly because I see it. The only place that I get that messaging is from Shantae. So I can say and also Emma Jack is very much so aligned with that as well. So I don't see that everywhere. So when I don't see it everywhere, I'm like, I know that you're likely not seeing it everywhere unless our algorithms are completely different, or you found a corner of the internet where that's where they pitch, or that's what they pitch, but I digress. I finished my service brochure. I am really happy about it. I've re-outlined all of my website packages. And honestly, what I'm going to do this week is people have been booked for discovery calls with me since mid-December for now and early February. So thank you if you're listening to this and you have a discovery call booked. You'll be getting an email from me, I believe. I'm deciding if I'm going to actually send it separately or not, but I want people to read the service brochure before they show up to a call with me. Just because it's one of those things where when it's written out for people, I feel like I'm doing them a disservice by reading them the service brochure. So it's really helpful when they read it, review it, they see the pricing. And also if the pricing is out of their budget, they can just cancel the call. I totally understand when folks do that. I get it. I'm happy to provide a referral. But it's just important to me that folks have all the information up front, from pricing to what it includes, etc. So I'm excited to really put all of that into play. And I'm just really excited. I think the packages are going to be really good. It's going to serve as a different option for folks and a better way for me to outline the services that I'm offering. And it makes me really excited. So yeah, just happy that I finished that. That was a big project, and my website is finished. I mentioned last week I had done about 15 pages on my site. I think I had done like 21 or 22 of them. It was a big project, but I'm very grateful that I did that. It's all finished, all done, and ready to go. So yay, super, super pumped about the break that I took. Personal stuff, nothing really to report. Everything is same old, same old. We didn't travel for the holidays, so we've just been hanging out. I'm going to say warm, cold in Southern California. It's warm in the sense that it's warm compared to the East Coast, but it has been cold in the mornings compared to summer in California, which makes sense because it's January. So just happy that we had a lot of sun today. It's actually a really beautiful day. I would love to go outside after I finish recording this because it's Sunday. I'm recording this on Sunday. I just finished recording a couple of modules and some educational stuff and a module for my SEO Inner Circle. So I just did a bunch of work inside. So I'm probably going to try to get outside or scoot out there a little bit with Moose because it's just such a nice day. And she loves to be in the yard. So I might do that a little bit later after this podcast episode is done. So let's jump in because this is, like I said, this is going to be a pretty straightforward episode, but I think it may be helpful for folks who are looking for a solution like this. Now, I'm going to introduce the problem first and then the solution. Marketing 101. So the problem that I have had is, and it's not even a problem, it's more or less just like considerations, right? So the problem that I have, quote unquote, is that I do believe that just because you own your own business does not mean that you are working 24/7. I think that is something that I definitely did for years. It's 10 p.m. at night on a Saturday and I'm answering clients, and also something I choose to do at times now, right? So I choose to do things at certain times now as well. And that's fine. Like having the authority and the autonomy to say, I'm going to work right now. It's Sunday at 2:30 and I'm working. I'm fine with that. However, I want the opportunity and the boundaries to be able to not. So the problem, quote unquote problem, I don't love saying problem, is that after hours, I never have notifications on my phone. So there's no vibrating, there's no sounds. I don't get any of that on my phone. But when things come in, I see them in the notification summary. So I had been playing with some focus modes. So every day at 10 o'clock, my focus mode turns on to work and it turns on to personal at 4 p.m. So my phone will have pop-up notifications for work-related stuff between 10 to 4. And then after 4, it doesn't show as a pop-up, but it will show in the notification center, and it will have like an app notification, the little one above the app or whatever, when you can see that there's an unread message. So that will be shown after 4. Now, here's the thing. I have really good boundaries in the sense that if it's after 4 p.m., I mentally do not feel like I need to answer anyone, because I know that if I did that every day, I would die just because I'd be working all the time. And it's not fair to me. It's not fair to anyone to work all the time and feel like they have to be on all the time. It's just, and no one wants that of anyone else either, right? So where I was running into issues is I am a helper at heart. So I want, and any of my clients and people I work with who listen to this podcast, I want this to be very clear. I want people to contact me when it's convenient for them. So I want them to send me a Voxer at 10 p.m. I want them to send me the email at 9 p.m. I don't care. I want them to contact me whenever it's convenient for them. And I know on their end, they're thinking, I'm just going to send this over right now. I don't need Lex to reply, but I'm just going to get it out of my head because I do the same thing, right? I send things to people when the moment is, it's in my head, I'm going to do it because otherwise I'll forget, but I'm never expecting a response. And neither is anyone that I work with. Like 110%, I know that that's never the case. So the thing is I am a helper. So when I see a notification, I don't care who it's from, whether it's an email, a Voxer, whatever it is. If I see a notification come in, my brain will shift. And there's studies out there that talks about like the time that your brain shifts. It's like 15 minutes before, 15 minutes after, or something like that. It takes 15 minutes to get back on track, yada, yada. So my brain, my mental energy, whatever, will shift to something that I see. So even if it's not coming up as a notification, if I swipe down on my phone to see, I don't know, the weather or something like that, I'll see my notification center and it will say like I have a Voxer, or Voxer will have a 1 on top of it. So I know that there's something unread sitting there. My brain hates that. I want to answer right away. Like I want to send out the response. I may even see that an email came in, and then sometimes I will even like answer in my head and know what I'm going to answer tomorrow when I answer that email. And that's not effective for me. I mean, it's effective for me, but it's not really me being the best boss to myself, because like energy is energy, time is time. And I would love to help people 100 hours of the day if there were 100 hours of the day, because that's my love language. So while I have great boundaries, the best boundaries in the world do not take away my humanity. And like the human side of me is just like, I want to help all the time. And that just is what it is. And so I recognize that about myself. I have recognized it, especially like very, very clearly at the end of this year. Because here's the thing, I have boundaries that make people's eyes get big. And I say that because I was on a call with a bunch of other like OBMs, VAs, what have you. And when I was talking about my boundaries and when I work, I actually left the call. And the person that I work for, I actually voiced her and I was like, hey, so I just like need you to tell me if like this is okay with you. Cause I left this call feeling like I have like such big boundaries that it's like negatively impacting your business. And like that wasn't the case at all. But like my boundaries are so set that it was uncomfortable for other people to like see that, and the look on their faces. The response was basically like, do you ever work? Which is like such a weird, I'm making an assumption here, but it was just so obvious that my boundaries were very different than other folks. And I won't speak for everybody on the call because everybody didn't voice that, but it was very obvious. And I was like, oh my God, like, am I the problem or am I a problem? And I was given the response of like, absolutely not, from that person, the business owner that I was talking to. So like, just know that I'm not telling you about this solution that I have because I don't have good boundaries. Like my boundaries are very, very good. However, my humanness, I am so glad that I have that side of me. I'm so grateful to have that humanness component that's here. And like that, if I didn't have that, I don't even want to know what type of business owner I would be. So I'm so grateful for that side of me. And I also want to be really kind to that side of me. And so the champagne problem, I guess, is that side of me wants to help all the time. And what I realized is I need to do something other than just setting a focus mode on my phone, because it's not working for my brain to see the notifications be there, to see them in my notifications feed, and then have the little one on the app. It wasn't working for me. It just was not working for me. And just because energetically I want to respond and I know there's something there, and I'm like, oh, well, just open it real quick to see what it is. If it's really important, you can answer. If it's not important, don't answer. And then suddenly I'm spending 30 minutes in my own head just being like, oh man, I really want to answer, but I don't want to answer till I'm not working, yada, yada, yada. So I found a solution, I think. I don't know, but I'm trying it out. So what I bought was one of those bricks. If you haven't seen it yet, you'll probably see it now because you're listening to this podcast and ads are crazy. And your phone is definitely going to show you the ads at this point. But I bought a brick, and what it is, it's a physical square object. And you scan it, basically. So what you do is you set up different modes. So I have set up 2 different modes. One is personal time, and then one is personal time plus no social. I am not the person who's going to download an download an app on my phone. I'm not that person. So I needed to control for the times where I don't want to be on social as well. So I did a personal time, because I remember social media for me too. And you also can say the same thing. It's also work. It's hard for me sometimes to scroll Instagram as a consumer, because I'll get a DM about work. And then I'm suddenly in that work mode. So sometimes I'm just I just want to remove myself so that way I can just not have the habitual toggle it on. And here's the thing too that I didn't mention before, and I want to say it, is it's a habit for me to check shit on my phone. So if I'm just walking around the house and I'm not actively doing something, I'll just have my phone in my hand and I'll check my email and I'll check my Voxer and I'll check my Instagram. And I just don't think I need to do that. So in my head, I made a mental rule. If you're walking around the house, you shouldn't be checking your phone. But I also just need to break the habit of when I'm not doing something, I don't have to go to my phone. I can do something else. And again, I play piano, I read, I cook, I'm doing other things, but I also know that there's so much energy and time being sucked into these apps just because it's a habit. And I would rather be super intentional with it. And although that was last year's word, I'm viewing it as I'm going to nourish what I already have by being intentional about this one thing, and being able to nourish the fact that I can maybe get 10 more minutes of playing a piano, or 10 more minutes of reading, or 10 more minutes of playing with Moose, whatever it may be. I can now get that because I'm not spending it, just checking social, because I don't have anything else to do with my hands. And I think other people can say oh my God, I do that all the time. So this brick, I tried it out briefly, because when you set up the modes, what it is, it's you toggle on, you're brick my phone. Yes, you choose the mode you want to do, what you've already selected. And then you just say brick my device, and you scan the brick, and then it blocks the app. And when I say blocks the app, I mean, it blocks it. You can't open it. You can't see the notifications from it. Not even in your notification center. You see nothing about it. So it literally blocks the app from doing anything on your phone. So for me, I am going to use this as a way to turn off and genuinely be able to turn it off. So yeah, sure, there may be 20 notifications waiting for me when I unbrick my device when I'm back at my desk. But for me, that's going to be more manageable energetically than just getting a bunch of stuff randomly and seeing it in my notification center, even if I'm off, quote unquote, off work. Now, again, my humanity is it's there, and my caring nature, my helper nature, it's just there. And for me, this is going to help I don't want to say, I'm not going to use it as a crutch to build boundaries, because the boundary is already there. It's more or less just to allow myself to not feel the pressure of an external stimulus, even though I know that my clients or anybody I'm actively working with, they're never sending something so that I reply right away. I know that. I know that mentally, but I still want to reply. I still want to get right back to them. So it's one of those things where I am, the boundaries there, but the energy of, I know something's there, I want to respond right now, I don't have to worry about it because I won't see that something is there. And just saying that feels like a breath of fresh air for me, because then it's like, I don't have to have two phones. I don't have to have a work phone and a personal phone, which wouldn't work anyway. Because again, social is personal and social is business. So I don't have to have two phones, and I don't have to, use the modes on my phone for home, for work and personal, because I'm just going to brick my device. And when I scan the brick, I'm going to, either be blocking work or work plus social. And then we'll see how it goes. Again, I don't have data because like I said, I tried last week, but when you get it, you have to really program it. You have to choose what apps you want to include, what apps you don't want to include. So at one point I had blocked, I think I bricked my phone one of the nights, and it blocked my messages because I chose all social. Well, social is also messages. So I was like, oh my God. And I had to get a text. I didn't realize my messages were bricked. And I needed like a verification code to log into a different app, and it wasn't a social app. I think it was like a shopping app, to be honest with you. And so I think I was trying to log in. I was like, oh my God, my messages are blocked. And it's fine to block messages, but that wasn't my intention. So I had to come upstairs, unbrick my device, and then like take off the apps. And I was like, okay, I need to sit down and actually choose the apps and be really intentional about it, because like Voxer wasn't included and I needed Voxer to be included. So anyway, I just needed to sit down and like be intentional about it. So now, as of tomorrow, Monday, when I go back to full work mode, I plan to brick my phone after I'm done working for the day, and I'm pretty excited about it. So if you're someone who is just like, I could use that, or I want to do that, maybe that would work for you. I think the brick is like $55, $60. They do sales every once in a while, so feel free to wait for a sale, of course. But you could try that. And then if you're someone who feels like the boundary side is not yet there, or you need to do work around that side of things, that could be the case. Talk to whoever you talk to for coaching, what have you. Do that first, and or don't, and just choose to get the brick and set your work hours and call it a day. But knowing, even though and also I want to say, the last point is just accept your humanity and like know how you are, because all of the work in the world, I don't think would have helped me. And I shouldn't say that. I don't think would have helped me solve this specific problem because of the way that the iPhone is set up. And that's fine. And I will say 110%, I was like, why do I need something like this? This is so frustrating. Like, I have the boundaries. I have this. I've done the work. I don't need this. This is crazy. Why do I need this device to be a crutch for me? And I did that. I went back and forth with it, and I was like, no, I genuinely need this because it will allow me to essentially have a work phone. And any other person who does not own their own business shuts their computer off at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., 6 p.m., whenever they leave work, and they don't see it until they open it up the next day. And a part of me is just like, I do believe that as a business owner, we get to decide if that's what we want. And if we want that, and we want to be able to have that type of situation, there are things that come along with that. And because my work is on my phone, and if someone has a work email, I guess if they have it on their phone, they could relate to this as well. But because my work is on my phone, it's so easy to get distracted by it, even if I know there's no expectation from the person talking to me, because I want them to do that. I want them to send whatever they want to send whenever they want to send it, and whenever it's convenient for them. That's the whole goal. Like, I want that for my clients. And so on my end, I have to keep my side of the street clean. And if I know that there's no demand from them, I have good boundaries. The only thing left is that humanity piece that I just can't delete, and I don't want to delete, and I don't want to change. So I'm going to do something to, care for that side of me, rather than sit here and, essentially complain about myself and complain about the way I am, because that's not going to help. And I'm going to do something about it instead. And so this was my solution. So again, maybe it'll work for you. Maybe it won't. Look into it, do some research, but that's what I'm going to do. There are other options. There's a card option, which I can't speak to because I don't have it, but I really do enjoy the brick option. I do. I'm going to leave it right on my desk. It says you can put it like on a magnetic surface, but I'm just going to leave it right on my desk, and I'll be able to scan it when I get to work and scan it when I leave work. And Obviously if I'm working on a Sunday, working on a Saturday, I can scan it whenever I want. So I can also change it then, but it's more or less just being able to actually have the no toggle of energy, and feeling like that's not going to happen is, it's really great, because it will open up opportunities and time for me to have 5 more minutes of playing piano, or have 15 more minutes of reading, or what have you, because I don't have that notification stimulus that is so common. And I do believe most people will say like, yeah, like that's how it is. Like I see the notification, I see the little bubble. And if you can ignore that, power to you. I love that for you. I simply cannot. So that humanity side, man, is just like, and also I should say, I'm not saying that people who can ignore it have like a bad side of, they're like bad or whatever. It's just, we all have different ways that we can, or we all have different capacities of being able to cope with notifications. And for me, I've noticed that notifications for me, I'm like, I want to clear those notifications out. I'm not an inbox zero person, but I'm definitely, if I see a notification, I want to get it out so that it's taken care of. And I'm a to-do list checker. My job is literally to manage other people's to-do lists and to check things off those to-do lists. So when I see something to do, I want to check it off. So power to you if you are able to just let that ride and let it sit. I do wish at some points I was exactly like that, but alas, I am not, and here we are. So that's all I've got for you. Let me know. Let me know if you end up getting one, if it helps you, what have you. I'll update you once I use it for a few weeks, because again, I haven't used it for a few weeks yet. I only tested it. So this will be the first week of actually using it. So let me know how it works for you, and if you end up getting it, or another method that you might do, or let me know how you feel like you're able to, not have that distractive nature. If you see a notification, I would love to hear from folks who are not like me, right? I love to hear that. It's so cool to hear how other people's minds work in real time. And, just like, I'm curious, right? So I'm just curious about that. So let me know. That's all I've got for you. Again, thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you next time.